The footballing world was shocked to its core when PSG decided to fork out a world record fee for Neymar, paying £200 million for the Brazilian, eclipsing the £89 million Paul Pogba cost Man United a year before. So with that in mind, let's take a look at 6 players who could cost more than Neymar. First up, we've got Christian Pulisic. Borussia Dortmund's youth setup has seen its fair share of exciting players pass through the doors in recent years, with Marco Reus and Antonio Rudiger being 2 obvious examples. But the best may be yet to come in the shape of 18-year-old Christian Pulisic, who arrived in Germany in 2015 as a 16-year-old. An attacking midfielder or winger with a delicate first touch and fantastic dribbling ability, it's easy to see why Pulisic is already turning heads. He's off the mark already in the Bundesliga this season, having scored in Dortmund's opening day win against Wolfsburg. If the American youngster keeps it up, he could well be the next of Dortmund's exciting young players to be prized away for a luxurious fee. Next up, we've got RENATO Sanchez. Having broken Cristiano Ronaldo's record for being the youngest Portuguese player called up to the international squad, it's no surprise that RENATO Sanchez was attracting a lot of attention during Euro 2016. When Sanchez went on to score against Poland in the quarter-finals, he became the youngest player to score a goal in the knockout stages of the competition. A hot prospect at the age of 20, his move to Bayern Munich has seen his playing time become limited during an admittedly frustrating debut season, but Sanchez still has all the attributes and potential of a truly world-beating player. With the midfielder now on loan at Swansea City, it will be interesting to see how the youngster does with regular first-team football in the Premier League. If Sanchez does hit the heights, then he could excel back at Bayern Munich and demand a huge fee in the future. Up next, we've got Gabriel Jesus. The £27 million which Man City paid for the Brazilian forward is already starting to look like something of a bargain. His first start in the Premier League saw him score his first goal for Man City, assisting Kevin De Bruyne as opener before adding his own in a comfortable 4-0 victory away from home against West Ham. His promise has been evident from the get-go, and even when a metatarsal injury to his right foot sidelined him last season, he returned from injury looking just as fresh and menacing. If Pep Guardiola's side do go on to win the title this season, then Jesus will likely have a big part to play, and at only 20 years of age, it's incredible to think that the best is yet to come from this young man. And if he does eventually get sick of Manchester and its gloomy skies, which is very possible, then he could make a 9-figure move just like his fellow countryman Neymar. Our 4th player is Moise Kean. Not exactly a well-kept secret of future stardom, Moise Kean was only 16 years old when he was brought off the bench in Juventus' away win against Sevilla in the Champions League. It made him the first professional footballer born after the year 2000 to feature in Europe's most prestigious tournament, which is a terrifying thought and makes me feel ridiculously old. Physically tenacious with quick feet and an eye for goal, Kean is already being looked upon as a prospect amongst the biggest clubs on the continent, and surprisingly is no relation to former Blackburn boss Steve Kean. If he lives up to his early promise, a bidding war could well see this talented young forward go for an astronomical fee. Next up, we've got Kylian Mbappe. Monaco achieved their first Ligue 1 title for 17 years last season, thanks to a hugely talented young squad that quickly became the envy of just about every manager in Europe. Mbappe was the crown jewel of that Monaco side, and like most of his teammates, has now departed the club, sneakily joining PSG on loan before a £165 million permanent move next summer, as the oil-rich club looked to avoid a financial fair play slap on the wrist. Although he's certainly going to be tied to Paris for the next 2 seasons, surely Mbappe will want to test himself in a tougher division later in his still very young career, and if he continues to play like he is now, then Mbappe's next transfer will likely exceed £200 million, providing he doesn't play against Luxembourg every week. Christ, that was difficult. And finally, we've got Neymar. Bit of a tricky one here, but it's certainly possible that Neymar could break his own transfer record. At 25 years old, the forward still probably has another 10 years in the game ahead of him, and is he really going to spend a decade at Paris Saint Germain? Surely Neymar is eventually going to realise that he can't achieve all of his goals playing in Ligue 1. And if the transfer fees are only going to keep increasing in years to come, then the future Neymar will cost much more than the 2017 Neymar. Unless France really ruins his career. That would be a bit sad. Not that it's going to. So those are 6 players who could cost more than Neymar. Let us know who you think it'll be in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.